Hey guys, this is part 2 of my Doctor Who theory. I've already made about 14-minute video on this theory, and if you haven't watched that video, I recommend that you watch it. But I'm now recapping some of the stuff that I'd said before, but also saying a few other new bits and pieces to it. The theory is that there are 4 Time Lords that escaped the Time War. The Doctor, the Spy, the Master, and the Nanny. The Doctor is the Doctor. The Master, Willy Wonka, is a regeneration of Master, one of his many forms, past, present, whatever. Mary Poppins is a Time Lord, and Nanny McPhee is Mary Poppins. They're the same person. They both are the same Time Lord. Then, the Spy, James Bond, is a Time Lord. Now, I'm not going to explain too much on everything, but now is the things that are outside of that I'm bringing in. We all know of, if you're watching this video, we all know of River Song, the Doctor's wife, first introduced in David Tennant the Tenth's Doctor. Personally, my favorite Doctor. But then you see getting married to none other than Matt Smith's Doctor. Let's think about it. Got it. Now, she is wild. Curly hair, is capable of time travel without a TARDIS for a smidge, but does have a sonic screwdriver. And actually a junked version of the 10th Doctor's screwdriver, but still, it's a sonic screwdriver. Curly hair, can go throughout time and space. She's not one of the surviving Time Lords. She's not the Nanny, she's not the Spy, the Doctor, or the Master. So, who is she? Why am I bringing her up? Hopefully you remember Ms. Frizzle, I believe her name is. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but the magic school bus teacher. If you're a 90s kid, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The magic school bus. Again, and I mentioned this before in part 1, everything is one big connection. One big everything. And we're just picking up on the signals on the TVs. But River Song, Miss Friz, the same fucking person. Again, she could have easily gotten her hand on some type of time machine, as apparently it's in certain areas and times can be made a time machine. You just need to know how. Or you could wait you can wait a few billion years or so to figure it out, but you'll probably be dead by then. Makes a time machine, goes back, finds a TARDIS junkyard. Or, well, finds a TARDIS junkyard and builds her own TARDIS, and then just destroys the old time machine and has the TARDIS. Goes all over the fucking place, any and everywhere. That's the bus. It takes form of the bus. The bus takes form of different shapes and different things, going in and out, whatever. Telling the kids it's magic, just showing how simple it is. Well, it's the thing on River Song. What else is there that I need to address? Wasn't there 2 time-traveling icons that are just as iconic as the vehicles that they drive? I don't know. Light bulb. Doc Brown from Back to the Future is the Doctor. What? Yeah, he is. Escaping the Time War. It says that he, by fighting. How did you escape the Time War? How did you survive the Time War? By fighting on the front line. A war on the front line is always the most brutal part of it all. In the time that it's known, it's actually revealed in the 11th Doctor that the TARDIS that he has is a Type 40 TARDIS. It was a museum piece even when he was young. So he stole it, and apparently the TARDIS stole the Doctor. What I'm getting at is back to what I was getting at. The Doctor landed on Earth, lost his whole memory, regenerated, and lived his life as Dr. Emmett Brown. Have a fascinating thing for science, but for some reason just couldn't make anything that worked. Bumped his head and got the vision of the flux capacitor, which looks so much remarkably like the wires and the lighting and sound that is inside the TARDIS's console. What else? Right. Clara, girl, has been seen in the 11th Doctors as the impossible girl. Back to the Future Part 3. Clara again. Yes. And actually, if you watch the first few episodes of the first season of the first series with the first Doctor in Doctor Who universe, the first time that you see his sonic screwdriver, probably just a pen light, because, black and white budget was whatever, and they didn't think the show would do well, he presses it in, puts in a nail, and puts in a screw, and then fixes up a car to his companion, and she's just like, wow, that's amazing, da-da-da-da-da-da, and all this, and he goes, I've had many companions before, but I always miss Clara. More accurately, I always miss my Clara. How would the first Doctor know about the 11th Doctor's Clara, unless he had already gone and met and all this? He did, technically. Doc Brown went in, bumped his head, made the flux capacitor. The 3-part movies were made. But each time he had to wait centuries to see Clara again. He finally had all this stuff ready and all this, but Clara still, no matter what he does, no matter where he goes, no matter how far back, he still had to remember that he had to go back in time further to when Clara was younger, in England. Because in Back to the Future Part 3, when Dr. Emmett Brown and Clara meet up, they're both already older, and then they fall in love. And then the time machine shit happens, and the movie and franchise ends with them flying off in a time machine train. So beautiful. What about? Noted it. Well, at this point, the Doctor has a complete, full memory of everything that he has done. Spends the rest of the existence, Clara dies. Just of old age, no matter what he does. The Doctor then goes back on Earth. TARDIS has taken another form. Well, I actually scratched that part. The TARDIS, he builds it again. Gets a... he gets it. Then he decides, I've lost Clara. And just like how Batman reacted when one Robin up and left, he needed another Robin. The Doctor needed love. So he got a companion who he thought would help fill the hole in his heart that he had of losing Clara. That's where all the companions are. It wasn't until his 11th regeneration that he thought of it. I'll go back in time and meet Clara before I meet Clara. So he goes, meets Clara, has all of these adventures, has all of these times, then disappears. Clara already was very eccentric, very outgoing, very imaginative, very saw the world as a Jules Verne, center of the earth type thing, and all this. In fact, in the Back to the Future movie, she met Jules Verne. She knew Jules Verne. She said that she had gone on an adventure with Jules Verne. It's because it was the 12th Doctor. It was the 11th and 12th Doctor who she had met. She didn't even know it. See what I'm getting at? The Doctor landed on Earth, did all this shit. Met Clara when she was older. But Clara already had wonderful adventures with the Doctor when she was younger. Because at the end of her life, when they go up and everything, and they live out the rest of her natural life, Doc Brown becomes the first Doctor. It's not a kind of a coincidence, but both of the Doctors look so very similar in their clothes, their accents, and their hair. The first Doctor becomes a second, then all the way to the 11th. That's how Clara knew and had everything. The Doctor had just figured all of that out. Not bad. Very cool. So, Doc Brown is the precursor to Doctor Who, the first Doctor Who that we know of. The Magic School Bus is the River Song Journeys, one of the many things that she was doing outside, behind the scenes of Doctor Who. The Master is Willy Wonka, murdering psychopath that just takes on different personalities and different traits and everything to kill people as a Time Lord. James Bond, a Time Lord. His TARDIS, the car. Again, the Master, the Doctor, the Nanny, the Spy, Mary Poppins, and all of it. It's just, wow. The universe, so much bigger than we thought of. Oh, most definitely. Alright, guys. Well, that's it for the review on this. But don't worry, I will be reviewing more theories on, well, anything. Next week, I'll be reviewing the Pixar theory. Until then, I will see you in another life, brother.